What's up guys, my name is Eduardo and today's video is going to be a little different from the past few videos that I've made in the past 3 weeks. Today I'm just working out and I'm going to show you guys how I like to work out. Very low volume, very minimalistic in regards to equipment and exercises. This is because I like to stay fresh throughout the day. I don't like to be extremely pumped out and I like to just be overall function and be able to hang out with my family and stuff like that. There are lots of things that are more important than working out for me, but I still work out hard. I still am extremely mindful and I want to show you guys what that looks like because I think hard work is confused with more work. So let's work hard without having to overcomplicate things. Alright, so if you've been following me, you know that I just got my one arm chin up, and the way I got that was by doing 1 rep 2 to 3 days a week. And I make that rep extremely difficult. That's why that negative was so hard, because it just took me forever to complete. And what I was actually doing there, and by the way, I did a 1 arm pull up because now that I could do a 1 arm chin up, I need to make it harder. So I did a 1 arm pull up, which is typically harder than the 1 arm chin up. Whew, that was tough. My left will not be that good, and I was actually surprised by that rep because I've been eating like shit the whole week. But that's to be expected. I don't get emotional about working out. It just is what it is, unless it's a good thing. I like the good stuff, but the bad stuff I don't let get to me. Let me do my left hand. So I'm in baby duty right now too, and this is what it is. It's just rolling with how things are. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on what that looks like. This workout, this whole video is totally unorganized. I'm just gonna jump everywhere. This is really just for the people that are interested in how I work out and what my workout looks like. It looks like watching the monitor, hearing my baby cry. I'm gonna have to text my girl to pick her up, and I'll do that right now. But that rep was so hard that the way down was like involuntary. This is what the mindful mover calls it. He calls it involuntary, that you're actually pulling up, but gravity is so heavy that it's pulling you down, and that makes you work twice as hard as just lowering and controlling the way down. And it's an immediate pump. What I didn't like about that left hand was that when I got up, I immediately dropped to halfway. So next week what I might do is I might have to use my assisting hand a bit more to help me down. And then when I reach that weak spot, I hold it for a max time. You probably couldn't tell because gravity was just pulling me down, where I was actually trying to pull up, but I was just able to control that negative. Take that into consideration when doing your negatives, because you could be working out a lot harder. That was already an immediate pump. So let me do handstand push-ups now. You know, I think being on camera is a good thing for me because that first rep wasn't too bad. The second one was tough, and I normally don't do that extra second one, but a few months ago, I was working towards a freestanding handstand push-up on rings. And I got that, so I needed to make it harder. So what I've been doing was I've been coming down archer style, straightening one hand or one arm, coming down with the other arm bent. And that is extremely difficult. But that's it. I'm done for those exercises. I don't want to do those anymore. Really, it just takes one rep, and I've been making small gains. Nothing crazy, nothing substantial. It took 5 months to get to where I was compared to where I was 5 months ago. And before that, I didn't work out for 8 months. Normally I rest a bit more, or I do something in between while I'm resting. I thought I'd take advantage and shoot this video, but I'll normally check in on some clients or do some chores, hang out with my girl. I usually don't actually work out in the garage. I typically work out outside where I can hang out with my son, or inside and where I can hang out with my girl. I like to rest 2 to 5 minutes. Sometimes I extend it to 10. I think rest is extremely underrated. But up next is planche push-ups and front levers. Now, the way I use those is 2 different ways because I can't necessarily train them on the rings, because if I extend my body, I'll actually hit my head on the wall, and I've done that, it doesn't feel good. So instead, what I like to do is do a static hold for max time, and then actually do full range of motion, but with a tuck. And I'll do that with either pulls or rows, and for front levers, and either negatives or planche push-ups for planche. So I'll do that real quick. I don't know if you guys will be able to see me. So I actually use the arm for the front lever because I can't do it with my pull apart because my head will hit it. So, you guys see what I did there? I don't get hung up on the body position. What's way more important than perfect form and trying to follow some blind standard is pushing yourself. And not just pushing yourself compared to last week, pushing yourself to what you could do today. Last week, it might have looked better, it might have looked worse. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you do today. And you can't get hung up on the bad days, because that's unnecessary stress and it's gonna fatigue you. And you can't get really inspired by your peak workouts, because you'll be mentally defeated when you don't reach those peak workouts. Those workouts on the extreme ends are not the new standard. That's the standard always, is start off hard and then you modify as you go. My straddle planche is going to be a lot worse, but we'll see. I'm actually condensing my rest times a little bit, and I'm pretty surprised I'm doing okay. So I thank you guys for that. I think it's the peer pressure. You guys can't really see it, that's okay. That's okay, it's the effort and the thought that counts. Oh man. Whew. probably should have done that first, because my planche is a lot weaker than my front lever. But it's so unorganized. I don't, if you're still watching this, great. There might be some nuggets in here that you can take out of. And sorry if I'm screaming. I'm out of breath. I want to make sure you guys can hear me. But this is tough. 1 rep, that's all it takes. And it's the consistency that matters and making that harder. People get hung up on the reps, but I just did a 1-arm chin-up last week. This week I did a 1-arm pull-up. That's still progress. I'm still making it harder. And you make it harder by increasing something in regards to volume. What's volume? It's reps times sets times weight. In this case, weight would be progression-based or intensity-based. So instead of doing a 1-arm chin-up, I did something harder. I did a 1-arm pull-up. All right, so this is what I was talking about with the max reps. I usually use rings, and I will actually for front levers, but my planche was really tough, so I'm gonna use the parallettes for that. All right, front lever row time. Do it this way. So obviously that wasn't 1 rep. What I do there is 1 set of max reps at the hardest intensity that I could do. So I was actually pleasantly surprised I could do that many rows after all of that. If you haven't tried accommodating resistance body weight work, I highly recommend you do so. 1 rep is enough to get you fried. Now, I'm not an endurance person. Up until last year, and I only did this for a month, I never trained more than 5 reps. This was just when I worked with my mover for those first few months. The first month he had me do 6 reps of everything, and I can't even remember the last time I did that before that. So I'm always sticking with 5 reps or less, but I do like to end my sets with what I call burner sets, and you basically just burn out, do as many reps as you can of a high intensity. And so what I did there was I did tuck front lever rows, and when I got too tired to hold the tuck, I went upside down and did inverted pull-ups. So I'm gonna do the same thing with planche push-ups. I probably won't even get one. So what I did there was I did tuck planche push-ups until I couldn't, then I did dips until I couldn't, and I did 4 lean push-ups until I couldn't, and I did regular push-ups until I couldn't. And that's it, that's my workout. A quick 15 minutes, that's all it takes, at least for me. If you haven't tried accommodating resistance, try it out. If you don't know what that is, I made a video about it. Check it out. It's called How to and How Not to Use Bands for Calisthenics. Made it about last week. I think it'll clear up a lot of questions that you might have, but as always, feel free to reach out and ask any questions that you might have. I'll make a lower body workout in a couple days. If you like videos like this, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to watch more. Not just like this, but tutorials, talking heads, and so on. If you subscribe, you'll be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time.